know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. Sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you again. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am.
So like I was here probably less than a week ago, and I was going up, well I went down the hill first, and as I was coming up this hill, I saw like 3 coyotes. I started sprinting down back hill. I was surprised because they looked a lot bigger than I thought. Yeah, I just got this stick just in case. When I saw it, it was probably, I think it was about 7 or 8. Yeah. And there's 2 of us. So, right now, I'm by the Guildwood, and we're down, all the way down by the Guildwood Bluffs. So, you know, just enjoy the view over here. Nice sky, not too windy, you know, a good amount of wind. You see the water blowing. Although the water is a bit dirty though, I wouldn't recommend swimming in that. But hey, it's a beautiful view nonetheless. The sun's out, the clouds, the landscape. You know, so there's nothing better than going out and taking a walk in nature. You know, a lot of the times people are at home and they're using their phones, they're playing their Xbox, and they get a little bit out of touch from nature, from reality, you know. Their life becomes glued to social media. And honestly, social media, it gives one thing, instant gratification, right? You post a picture, you expect to have all these likes, and some people go to such crazy lengths for this, you know, but in a lot of ways that's unhealthy. Because what if you don't get those likes? You start going crazy, you start getting upset, you start doing crazier things to get those likes, to the point where you just end up embarrassing yourself. And you know, so that is why, like, when you go out for a walk in this kind of environment, you bring a friend, you bring your girlfriend, you bring your brother, you bring your mom, you bring a buddy of yours. It's refreshing, it's good for the mind, and it's good for the body. Walking, running, whatever you're doing, it keeps you active, you know. A lot of people these days, including myself, you know, not even just a few months ago, are living in a healthy lifestyle. What they do, they stay home all day, they play games, and they eat a shitty diet. And then they complain, oh, I'm gaining weight, oh, I'm this, I'm that. A lot of these things are because of our own actions. And then, unfortunately, we seek to others for comfort. A lot of the times, we have to embrace ourselves and push ourselves. We cannot seek comfort. If I'm upset because I don't have abs or whatever it is, or I don't have good stamina, who brought that? I brought that to myself because I didn't work hard enough for it. You know, and a lot of people these days, when you see this body positivity, yes, everybody should be confident in their body, right? But also, they should try to be healthy. You know, nobody is perfect. Nobody should believe they're perfect. Everybody has imperfections, and that's why we all have to work on them. And that's how we improve, right? Right now, I'm doing this intense run. You know, we ran about half an hour straight. I think it was 2.7 miles. I'm not sure how much that is. And to a lot of people, that might not sound like much, but to the average person, that's a lot. You know, and honestly, I've been slacking on the running, and I admit that. I admit all my flaws, because that's how we improve. We gotta point out, what are we weak at? Because yeah, let's say my strengths, right? Okay, maybe I punch hard, I have boxing skill, I can, you know, curl a lot. What about the weaknesses though? There's people out there, if you're an athlete, that's gonna target your weaknesses. I can run fast. Do you have power though? If you're a football player, for example, right? Or you can have power, but what if you're not agile enough? What if you're not fit enough? Working on our strengths bring comfort. But there's people out there, opponents out there, that are going to target our weaknesses and make us uncomfortable. And that is why we have to focus mostly on our weaknesses. And if we get used to being uncomfortable in training, then we'll be more comfortable in battle. You know, but anyways, as of right now, here's our workout routine that me and DeAndre, Sean's brother by the way, as you can see Sean, he's in plenty of my vlogs, and soon we'll show you DeAndre. You know, he's a very, very dedicated football player. He has big dreams and he has the work ethic to match it, you know, and I'm sure he'll give you even more inspirational speeches than I could give. So we'll get to that shortly, but as of right now, what I want is to develop my stamina. I've always had this problem since I've been boxing, is, you know, maybe second round, third round, I start gassing, I start fading, and another guy, he might be running more constantly, you know, he might be training harder, even if I'm more skilled or whatever it is. If you're tiring first, you're at a disadvantage, no matter how skilled you are. He's gonna push this much more than you, while you're only able to push this much. Your skill can go a long way, but if you're of anywhere near comparable skill, stamina matters. You know, I could go box somebody and I could be 20% better than them, and maybe I'll be on the edge of the first couple rounds, or fight in general. I can fight somebody right now and I'll be beating them at first. But what happens when intensity kicks in and I start to fatigue, and then I can't operate at my best, I can't throw things hardest, I can't move my fastest, I slow down while he's gaining. All of a sudden, where does that skill go? You need stamina for your skill to function. And that all comes through training, through the intense training. I'm out here in the heat. I don't care. DeAndre doesn't care. It's all a sacrifice. You train, you get used to training and being uncomfortable, then you become more comfortable when it really matters, right? And of course, even for me, like, I don't like to do this. DeAndre probably doesn't like to do this sometimes, but we force ourselves. I don't want to go to the gym and spar sometimes. I'd rather stay home and drink a Pepsi and eat a burger. But then I'm like, I've been doing that for too many years. It's never too late to stop, you know, and it all starts with the mind. This is the key. If you have a strong mind, everything else will follow. A lot of people can build a strong body to a certain extent, but to go even further, right, we have to have the strong mind. You know, and here's a big misconception, is that if you work on your skills alone, that'll only take you so far. You work on your strengths alone, that'll only take you so far. You got to target your weaknesses. I have to target my weaknesses. This is all I'm saying to any viewer watching this. I'm saying this to myself. But it takes one step at a time. That's the problem, especially when it comes to social media. It gives you instant gratification. When you go in the real world, you become depressed. You hate the real world because we want everything instantly. We want food instantly, we go on Uber Eats. We want a date instantly, we go on Tinder. Whatever we want, it's instant. No, not when it comes to the real world. This is where it takes time. This is where it takes step by step, day by day. And every single day, people are going to criticize you. Right now, somebody's criticizing me. I know that. I don't care. They can criticize me all they want. If I keep building my momentum, there won't be nothing to criticize in years from now. And I criticize myself. Criticism is how we get better. But there's a difference between good criticism and shit criticism. If somebody says you won't ever do it, that's their own insecurity speaking to you. They say that because they can't do it themselves. And a lot of the times they don't think you can. But what they think, it's an opinion. Opinion is not truth. To anybody watching this, all of us have goals in life. And all of us, even if we don't know it or not, have people who don't think we can do it. Especially at some point in our lives, we had people who didn't believe we can do it. Until they go out there and do it. But it's a lot of hard work. People only see what's at the surface. They don't see what's below that. They don't see the years of suffering. The years of just mental and physical pain that people had to endure. You know, the years of sleepless nights because of just all these thoughts. People don't see any of this. They go and they point fingers. Yeah, look at this person. Ha, what is he doing? Ha ha. You know, for me, I used to do a lot of bicep curls. I didn't do squats. I've been doing squats, but I guarantee there's people still living in the past thinking, oh, he only hits arms. No, hell no, I can squat a lot now. You know, and people criticizing, well, I'm not going to make it in boxing. Well, we'll see, years from now. There's reasons why. Maybe I didn't live up to my potential because I didn't work hard enough. And as years go by, we mature, we find different sources of motivation, our mindset changes, and we develop a new motivation. That motivation, when it's from within, that cannot burn out. If we rely on others, it burns out. We rely on motivation from within, that's what pushes us. And right now, I'm working every single day to get better at my craft in every single way. Stamina, doing running, you know, building the legs too this way. I'm working on my abs, trying to trim off all the stomach fat I had after years of eating garbage. All these people eating garbage, poutine, burgers, this is all garbage to an athlete. If you're a regular guy and you want to enjoy a burger once in a while, go ahead. But just know, if you abuse that, you're creating yourself to be at risk for so many diabetes, cholesterol, heart problems. You know? But if you're an athlete, you cannot eat that shit and perform. Not everybody is Floyd Mayweather. Because if you say some of these athletes, these top level athletes, some of them eat McDonald's once in a while. No, not everybody's those kind of people. Everybody has to start somewhere and build themselves up to the point where they can do that. And some don't do that at all. You know, I realize diet is one of the most important things. It's what we put in our body. If you eat junk food, what does it build? Internal fats. You could do thousands of sit-ups. If you eat junk food all day, the fat's gonna be go in here the most. It builds up internally. That's what junk food does. When we change the diet, we get better. It depends on your body. Some people perform better I perform better a little bit leaner than what I was a few months ago. I got leaner because it might not look as good. It might not look big arms and, you know, bulky, but there's a difference between bulky and functional. Functional muscle is when you can operate at it at your best and not tire out. You have the mixture, enough power, enough speed and everything. If you get too bulky, you lose your speed, you lose your stamina. You get too slim, you lose your strength. There's a point in between and it all depends on your body, and that's what I'm trying to find. On top of that, trying to trim off all this excess fat. Imagine this, at least 10 pounds around my waist right now. That's slowing me down. I'm trying to get that off. Because I want to perform at my best when I'm in there. I'm going to keep doing these runs until the point where I can do... There's no limits anyways. We got to set small limits, but there is no limits at the end. You just keep setting small limits and keep increasing it. There's never going to be a set limit that we should ever set for ourselves. Because we can always improve. Right now, yeah, I have temporary limits of running 5K non-stop. That's my goal right now, and honestly I can't do that right now. I need to take at least one break, but I'll get there. And then when I hit 5K, my goal will be 6K, and then it will be 7K, and then it will be 8K, and then it will be 10K, but I'll never be satisfied, you know? Anyways, right now we had a good run, and I'm gonna show you guys some boxing moves and some things that I learned, you know, from being back in the boxing gym. I've been back there for probably maybe a month, about a month, approximately 3 weeks a month, somewhere around there. I've done 4 rounds with headgear, 4 solid rounds of sparring. The rest were without headgear. There was no coaches supervising. and they were medium contact, but they were good experiences. I learned a lot from them. And even though I would say honestly, I was a little bit disappointed because sometimes we go in there and we expect everything to go amazing. I expect to look like Floyd Mayweather, you know? But I'm not him. You're not him. Nobody is those kind of people. Sometimes you go in there without expectations, and we realize that those disappointing moments, those moments where we're surprised because maybe we didn't do good enough or whatever it is the key to our improvements. Because when we get those moments in life, we have so much more to reflect on. So if you ever face a moment of disappointment, you ever face a moment where you're kind of surprised by like, damn, I wasn't as good as I thought I was. Don't look at it like, damn, I should stop. Because that's what sets the weak from the strong. Everybody falls in life. But it takes a while until we start crawling, until we start, walking, until we start running. It takes time. It's a step-by-step procedure, but we all fall during the process. But it's during those times when we're disappointed is where we can improve if we spend enough time reflecting on it. And I'll show you what I've reflected on in the next video. So stay tuned.